Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we both had very busy weekends.
We did. So today we're filming this on the Tuesday after Labor Day weekend, and what a weekend.
Wow.
It was great.
Beautiful.
First of all, the weather was beautiful.
Oh, my gosh.
Second of all, it was just a lot of really good family time, I think, for each of us spent with our families.
Yep.
And
both
I don't know.
sides of our family. This was new for you, right?
Yeah. So
Both your in-laws?
Yeah. So we all went to Holiday World. Malia and her in-laws went, and the Larches, and then Jason and I and Silas went. Carissa set this one out because she's already went twice this year, and that poor girl has a terrible cold.
Oh, no.
I know. And it's like, I even took her to the doctor because she thought she had strep throat. And it's like, what is it with the schools? Like, these kids were A-okay fine, and then school starts, and then boom, 1 week into it, I think I have strep throat. And also, I was told there was a ton of people out for COVID.
I've heard that hand, foot, and mouth is going around.
Yep.
Which
heard that
sounds
too.
awful. I had an adult cousin that got that stuff. Woo, yowza.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds pretty gross.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, back to the fun stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we go every year and we camp at Lake Rudolph, and I love Lake Rudolph. It's fantastic. We have been going in July, but this year it didn't work out well. Before it was just like, I took my kids and grandkids, and but then this year, it didn't work out well, so we decided to do it Labor Day weekend. Of course, everybody's like, don't go to Holiday World on Labor Day weekend. Don't go. Now, you went on Saturday. You said it was busy. We went on Sunday. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nobody was touching me. Nobody was surrounding me.
That's awesome.
I did not wait. The kids didn't wait in line for hardly anything.
We had a slightly different experience the day before on Saturday.
I wonder why Saturday was so.
I don't know, but we typically never go to Holiday World on Saturday. Like, it's always a big no.
That's pretty taboo
in my book.
Yeah.
Like, we like to go on a Wednesday, middle of the week. Nobody's there.
I like a Monday. Yeah,
Monday. Yeah, good. This time, because of schedules, and honestly, this was our second trip of the year, so we were a little bit more relaxed about it. But because of everyone's schedule, and there's so many of us that were going at the same time, well, the Larches already had theirs planned, and then we were trying to fit in one more time for Jason and Silas to go ride coasters, and it just landed on the same day, so we made it a big fun thing. But it had to be a Saturday. Well, I'm like, it's going to be a little bit more crowded, but the weather has been cool, so that might keep a lot of people away because they're there for the water rides, and if the water's cold, the attendance is down. But no, it was busy on Saturday. It started off a little slow. Like, I felt good about it. Like, in the morning, like, hey, you know what? There's not that many people here. Everyone's kind of spread out. The kids went and did.
It's a big place anymore.
Yeah. The kids went and did their coasters, and they're riding coasters, so it's just me. I'm basically alone all day in Holiday World. And yeah, and so
I could sit there and people watch and then go play games. I'm a game person.
So I people watched for a little bit. I ate my meal that we can talk about, the turkey dinner meal at Holiday World, which is amazing. And then I went to the Lazy River. Guess how long I was in the Lazy River all by myself, floating around, like not a care in the world. Keep going.
2 hours.
Keep going.
3 hours.
3 hours. I was in the Lazy River. And it was really fantastic in the beginning because there wasn't a lot of people in there.
It's nothing like a Lazy River.
The water was a little chilly, but it felt good to me.
Yeah,
so,
but once you get used to it, because I even got in the water too. Once I got used to it.
Yeah, I was fine. I floated.
I'm like, come on, hot flash, anytime, any moment. Yeah, there it is. I'm going in.
I had my float set up, and I was just going around, and it kept getting a little bit fuller and a little bit fuller.
Yeah.
And the Lazy River at Holiday World, for those that don't know, it splits into two sections where you have the long route or the short route. They had a rope across the long across the long route, so you could only do the short route because I'm thinking they didn't have enough lifeguards on duty to cover it, so they made it short, which limited the number of floaties that they could put in there. So they had already in there the right number of floaties for that time or whatever. Well, it kept getting really full, and people were standing in line to get in the Lazy River, and there were no floaties hardly. And so people, every time I went around for 3 hours, people are glaring at me like, lady, can I have your float? And I just like, woo, don't see anybody, got my blinders on, kept floating. Well, this one time I went around and I get to the part where there's the exit and the entrance. And right before, because at this point, it's people are bumping into you constantly. It's that full. That. And I was already thinking about getting off because I'm like, this is a little close.
Could you even get off? Because by that time, it's like,
yeah. No, I was in one of those real comfortable seats.
I know, but even after that, I still had a hard time getting out of mine after 2.5 hours.
Anyway, I come around and somebody had bumped into me. So then I was floating backwards down the river, which is fine. I was pushed way over out of the way of the exit. I was way over to the far side and I'm just floating backwards. And all of a sudden I hit a wall, like not the wall of the river, like I felt like I just thunk. Like when you hit someone else in one of those floaties, it's like bumper cars and you just boom, 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 boom. This was like thunk. And I look over my shoulder and there's this man, young man and woman, probably both in their 20s, holding a baby. And they're just standing in the river. They had gotten in the river and then walked across to the other side and were leaning against the wall. And then when I bumped into them, she goes, "Well, excuse you." And I go, "Well, excuse you. You're the one that's standing in the middle of the river." And she said, she was so mad. And she's like, "Well, there are no more floaties and I have a baby."
And I don't get in the river.
And I go, "Woo-hoo." And then as I float away, I'm like, gosh, if you don't have a car, do you go stand in the middle of the road?
Right.
What is wrong with people?
Yeah, and you're not supposed to stand in the river.
She's not. But you know what she was doing over there? She was trying to bully the lifeguard into giving her another floaty. That they had aired up some extra ones that were like in the back. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that they had and the lifeguard was trying to explain to her, like, it's at capacity. I'm not allowed to put in any more floaties. And oh my gosh, she was Karen to the nth. Yeah, she was she was something. So after that, I didn't get out right then because I was definitely not going to let her get my floaty.
No, exactly.
And so I went around one more time, and then I handed off my floaty to a real nice looking lady that looked like she needed it. So.
You don't just go stand there. You don't have to be in the lazy river. There are a million other things you can do there.
I know. I'm like, then go to the pool. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
She had a baby.
Well, I can't help it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one running around here somewhere.
Yeah. So you got a baby?
I'd be like, yeah, my baby's 31. He's on a roller coaster somewhere. Yeah, we've all had babies, lady. Shut up.
I know, right? She was the only person that I've ever encountered at Holiday World that was difficult.
Well, I've never encountered anybody. I've never one time.
Everybody's happy there. Everybody's happy.
I've never had anybody rude at Holiday World.
I know. Never had a rude employee. Never had a rude other guest experience.
I love Holiday World.
And it's so clean. Yeah.
It's clean. It's nice. It's fun. It's spread out. There's tons to do. That you cannot beat.
Lots
that
of
free
shade.
Soda, lots of shade.
Yeah, you really. It's great. If you haven't went, you should go.
It's fantastic.
I think any age would love Holiday World.
Yeah, well, last time, when Becky Phillips and I, we all went camping, and Becky and I were in the lazy river for 2.5 hours, and we kept doing the long route. We just stayed in it the whole time, and it wasn't real busy, And I've told you this before. I want a lazy river for people 40 and up. I don't want kids in a lazy river. I want an old people lazy river. And anyway, and we're going, and we kept saying, okay, when you take the long way, okay, whenever we don't take the long way, we go the short way. We'll get out. And God just wanted us to keep going. And then we're like, after about 2.5 hours, and we're like we're like on those nice rafts, which is a game changer. We're like together. We got our her feet are on mine, and we're just like sitting there talking the whole time. We're floating the whole time. Yeah. And then it's like, oh no, Becky, this is it. And she's like, well, do you think how long we've been in here? I said, oh, I don't know. It seems like a moment or whatever. And it was like over 2.5 hours. And then we came around. I knew I had to get out of the river. Whenever we went under an underpass, there's Jim.
Oh. Well,
are you going to be there all day long? Are you done doing what you're doing? He's like, yeah, we're hungry. Let's go grab something to eat. I'm like, okay, meet me at Dippin' Dots.
I thought the whole time I was on that river, someone from my group would come looking for me.
Nobody can.
Nobody did, which I had told them. I'm like, don't worry about me. I'll be fine on my own.
I know where I'm at.
I know exactly where I'm at, and I'm going to just sit in that lazy river. And if I get tired of the lazy river, I'm going to go to the wave pool, and I'll be A-okay, you know.
Well, I have not enjoyed the lazy river like that since Joanna's been going. Because now Papa and I, we go up in that little kiddie area, and we stand there and watch her do a million.
Oh,
this is so funny.
Those are good areas.
Oh, yeah, because like Jack, I cannot deal with the way time's going. My baby Jack is tall enough to ride all the roller coasters. He's in it to win it. Jack, Mac, Connor, and Uncle Drew. As soon as we hit the park, we never saw him. He got his wristband, he's gone. And then I was like so nervous because we were all over in the Good Great or over in the Thanksgiving area because the little ones want. And then Joey was big enough to ride the Good Gravy roller coaster, so we're over there. And I was a nervous wreck because I'm like, oh my gosh, the very first roller coaster my 6-year-old grandson's going to ride is the Voyager. Is that what it's called, Voyager?
The Voyage.
The Voyage. And I'm like, and I'm looking at that ginormous hill, and I'm like a nervous wreck. And his other grandma there, Ann's there with us, and we're just like, oh my gosh. And then he comes out, and he's like this, and it's like, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I'm like, God, what's this? But anyway, but yeah, Papa and I, so then we did all that stuff, and then of course Joanna's Papa's girl. I told the other side of the family, I said, now you've never, this is the first time we went with like Paige's brothers and sisters and mother, right? I said, you guys don't understand. When I tell you that Joanna loves Papa more than anybody besides Mommy and Daddy, I am not kidding. None of you will matter when we get there. They were like, she was right there, Papa, either there or on his shoulders. She's like, Papa, 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 Papa. Yeah, they're like, you weren't kidding. I said, no, you're chopped liver, man.
So tell me about the golf cart parade, because we talked about that last week. So how'd that go?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
It was the biggest golf cart parade I think they've ever had.
Oh, really?
Used to, like, we'd line up down by that little beach area. And, you know, and it would be, there'd probably be like 20 golf carts. I bet there were probably 60, 70 golf carts.
Was there anybody left to watch the parade?
There were people lined up to watch the parade. Now kids are there with bags of candy. Now they're in it to win it now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, and you go through the whole thing, but Lake Rudolph is really cool.
Okay, so you did the pink flamingo theme.
Yeah, we did the pink flamingos because Joey requested that. And then Jack and those guys did the football theme, but they had a big old Patriots sign up there, a Green Bay Packers sign up there, and a San Francisco. Because now I got 3 people in the family that like 3 different football teams.
Oh my!
So you want to know how much fun football season is? It isn't, because they're all like, I mean they're all like
they're all grouchy at each other.
They're all on the opposite sides of the thing. But so like we're in the, of course, you know JoJo's a little Spitfire, right? We're up there, and there's like 7 or 8 different slides, and like so they go upstairs and they could go this way. Jim and I are down here, and we're like watching her because I don't take my eyes off her. She's over here. So we're over there. Blah, blah. Well, you're not supposed to go down on your belly, which I think is kind of silly. Whatever. But anyway, so Joey comes down on her belly. Of course, now she's in it to win it. She flipped the first time, didn't realize she did it. Now she's on it, right? Well, after a couple times, you know, then the lifeguard guy walking around was over to her and says, don't go down on your belly. You can't do that. You got to sit on your bottom. Of course, she just looked at him. And she went up, and of course, she did it again. And I'm like, Joanna, you cannot do that. Of course, she just gets out, and she just runs. She does it again. So
oh, my gosh. Did he kick her out?
No, he didn't, but he came over there, and then I heard him talking to her, and she got out, and she was like, and he would say something to her. So then she started doing it right. Okay, now he's on his way, and then now it's me and just JoJo. Papa went to go get something to drink, and she goes down this one wavy slide. She stands up, and she starts walking up it.
Oh, she's a brave one, isn't she?
She is, and I'm like, Joey, honey, you can't go. Don't walk up there, baby. Don't walk up that slide. And she goes up another. I'm like, Joanna, honey.
My.
And there, of course, it's not busy. It's not like there's other kids that's going to tackle her. There's nobody up there, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm like, Joanna, come back, honey. Don't do that. Come down that slide.
Oh.
And then rushing water's coming. And it's a slide. She's walking up it, right? And then she gets to the top of the hill, and she looks back. I said, well, you're almost there. You must well finish. So she got up there. She sat down. There's like little lights for them. Red, you don't go yet. When the light turns green, you can go.
Oh.
And she sits there. So she goes up and backwards. She sits there, and she goes, green light, yo-yo, and down she came. Yeah, she walked up the water slide backwards.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you're gonna get us kicked out because I just kept looking at the guy that's and she went through like 3 different lifeguards. They rotated pretty good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm like, oh, sissy, you're gonna get us kicked out. But
Oh, my.
why not? Why wouldn't Joanna? Joanna's the female Connor. Connor got kicked out of the baby contest. Why wouldn't Joanna get kicked out of Holiday World?
Yeah. Can you imagine kicking somebody out of Holiday World that's only
I don't
3?
think they would.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they wouldn't because y'all turn into the biggest Karen you've ever.
You'd
Karen,
be like,
let's just say
you'd be
that.
like, I'm in this pool with a baby.
Yeah, I'd be like, you think Karen's bad? You haven't seen Stacey. The Karen name will be changed to a Stacey by the time I was done.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, it was fun. It was just a great weekend, and we all get along really, really well. Then at the campsite, we were in a perfect area for the campsite. They could ride their bikes. And then there was a whole area right there where they played football. So we know where we're going to park our campers again next year. We're going to take up that whole area because Lake Rudolph is hilly and stuff.
Well, you better reserve it now. You know that people reserve those spots like a year in advance.
Yeah, we're going to. Paige is already on it. And and then so we took pictures of all that. We got that stuff going on. And it was just beautiful. And Lake Rudolph is very hilly, and some of those kids just zip around. There's golf carts everywhere, and it's kind of crazy. But anyway, all right, let's do it. Let's do an ad from the 1800s.
Ooh,
Have you ever heard of America baking powder?
Well, I don't think, but it does kind of look familiar.
Doesn't she look a little... America Trademark Baking Powder, 47 Vesey Street, New York. And I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to figure this out because it's America, right? So you got the eagle. Okay. Who is she supposed to be? She almost looks like a gypsy...
I think she looks Greek, like
Venus but if you
something.
look at it, almost looks like she's got a Santa hat on. She's got really rosy cheeks. She's fair complected. She's got like the Greek sandals on her feet, American flag wrapped around her like a gypsy would, and look at her sleeves. Because you would think it would be, I don't know. Of course, in the 1800s. When did we get the Statue of Liberty? That wasn't until later, right? When did we get the Statue of Liberty?
The late 1800s.
The late 1800s, but I'm not sure exactly when this was.
Maybe she's just supposed to be in her underwear.
I don't know, but it's kind of an interesting... Yeah, but like I said, you got the eagle, and then you got the that whatever.
She's in the sky, in the clouds, like a Greek god kind of thing.
But don't you think that's kind of interesting, though, for it to be an America trademark? Well, of course, the people that did it could be Greek Americans, but I just thought that was very interesting. Very rosy cheeks, very pale, and I'm like, boy, the sandals are Greek. She's got the sword, she's got the shield, she's got the eagle.
Yeah.
47 Vesey Street in New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was flipping through some stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of an interesting America baking powder. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, I have to look that one up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to touch a little bit on the early settlement of Richland County. And then I found a very interesting story of an older gentleman, not the first settler, but like one of the very first settlers of Olney. So,
okay.
Yep, we'll be right back.
This is Christy, inviting you to wrap yourself in lasting luxury at Carnaby Square. We specialize in one-on-one customer service, high-quality, head-turning, on-trend fashions, footwear, accessories, and a complete line of Brighton leather goods and jewelry. If you want to nix fast fashion and invest in a true-to-size, ethically manufactured wardrobe that you'll wear for years, it's time to treat yourself at Carnaby Square in downtown Fairfield.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and like I said a minute ago, we're going to talk a little bit about the early settlement of Olney. But Ty just said that the lady on the America package is to represent all of America, nobody in particular.
Yeah, the personification of America.
Personification. Personification of America.
There we go.
I wonder what that would be now.
No, let's not even go there.
I'm sure somehow it's probably racist, but whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. The early settlement of Richland County. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Of course, down around here, people, Macaulay settled, Clay County, the Wabash River. It's funny when I started diving into this, all the little, in Richland County, all the different creeks and this and stuff, and then you start talking about how they all just kind of, so those waterways is what really gets people in that, and then we spread out from there. But anyway, the early immigration of the southeastern Illinois pressed close upon the retreating savages. Of course, there were always Indians. Indians were here first, right? And then at this time, like when they were here, the natives had no villages, and territories were not developed yet. But the basic Indians who were there were the Winnebagos. Did we ever talk about the Miamis? M-I-A-M-I-S? Miamis? The Potawatomis and the Shawnees, of course. Those are the ones that we recognize the most. But the Indians, of course, were here because we also had lots of buffalo, lots of wild game, and the rivers and stuff. That type of thing. So anyway, the hunting grounds were very, very, very rich here. What I did find, like when we talk about Clay County really talked more about what their actual land, I think, whenever I did research, talked about like, because it was like
prairie grass
and this, that. Richland County, it's funny, like when you go find these other genealogical things, how certain ones do certain things.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really talk about what their area was. They basically mentioned the Indians, their waterway, and that there was good hunting. They didn't talk about having like lots of prairie grass or like, this type of thing. I thought it was kind of an interesting thing. But anyway, long story short, before this, the Indians held it as their hunting grounds until it was opened for settlement by the general government. Before this could be done, the land must have been surveyed, and although that was happening, that began at 1814. Okay, so the land's getting developed over there. The survey by the government's 1814, so that's what year we're in.
And I know, we ought to do a whole show on like how they surveyed back
I
then.
don't know.
Because
how?
First of all, they sent these surveyors out, and there was like 2 or 3 guys together sent out to survey these wilderness areas, and like I wouldn't even know where to start.
How would you?
You break it up into sections, and then you describe each section. I don't know.
Because what would it be? Well,
they'd all sound. I mean, I just write one and then like go back home and write like 20 others that were the same. I don't know. It's just.
Well, after it was surveyed like in 1814, then it was 4 years later, and then actually Richland County was staked out. Okay. And then it's like, how far do you get to go? I mean, because like if you look at all the counties, we're all basically, it's like, okay, so for you can only do this many, this many miles or that many miles. The natives had no villages within the territory under consideration, but the game that they had found food and shelter there for years. So of course it attracted many hunters. So that's where your white man starts coming in. And I mentioned the Winnebagos, the Miamis, the Potawatomis, and the Shawnees were represented by roaming bands until the early part of 1818. When they departed, never to return in any considerable numbers. So they're all there hanging out till 1814, and then 4 years later, Richland County got staked out.
And the Indians split. They're like, we see what's happening. We're going to go a little further away.
Yeah, so then they weren't there as heavily populated.
Okay.
The country within the present, and they keep calling it country, not county. The country within the present boundaries of Richland County was well calculated to attract a people accustomed to frontier life, and no sooner was it open for preemption then considerable numbers gathered here from the surrounding country. In the absence of well-established lines of travel, the rivers formed the easiest means of transportation, and it was along these that the early population gathered. The Wabash country, which included the margin of that stream both in Indiana and Illinois, was noted far and near. The volunteers who had taken part in Clark's campaigns spread the reports of its fertility and beauty far and near, and caused a large inflow of population from the South, as rapidly as the Indian title could be extinguished. So, okay, so I'm assuming when they're talking about Clark, they're talking about the Clark, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So, like, I'm assuming, like, he must be, was he like one of the first, because like we were talking, Macaulay's not even, they're all kind of getting here about the same time. Because actually in my later story, it talks a little bit about Macaulay and Clay, and I mean, just how it all just kind of boomed. I thought about ordering, I looked online, and I'm going to go ahead and order this one book, and it's called something of Southern Illinois. I can't remember, but it's, but sometimes when you start reading it, of course, you get those land plats and stuff, and it's like, I have no idea what even any of that stuff is. Of course, the War of 1812, check this flow. I'm going to write that on here so I'll know where I'm at, because I got a ton of papers here. The War of 1812 checked this flow of immigration for a short time. But even the dangers to which pioneers at that time were exposed did not prevent their coming on this debatable ground. Thus, it was that in 1814, the lower Wabash was found, so generally in possession of whites, that the counties of White and Edwards were formed and organized in the same year. So I'm assuming when they mentioned that.
So they named White County.
White County is literally White County because
all the settlers were white.
All the settlers were white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Now, and I looked for this too, and I could not find this at all. Now listen, in the same year, Palmyra was laid out. Okay, in your researches, when you research, have you ever just researched and everywhere you went and hit a brick wall?
Yes.
That's how I did with this Palmyra. And apparently that was they call it the seat of justice. I'm assuming Palmyra was the county
capital
seat of that area.
Richland County,
because Maysville was Clay County, and there's a lot about Maysville and how it got named.
So there's no longer a Palmyra?
I've never even heard of it, and I couldn't find nothing about Palmyra.
Huh.
I like the name.
Me too. If you're a Richland County resident and you know about this, you can reach us at, by the way, with Beth and Stacey at gmail.com and let us know.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never heard that. But everywhere I went, it's like when I talk about the first settlers there, the first two that came, brick wall, boom, brick wall. Couldn't find anything. But you can go on Clay County Genealogical and find a ton of stuff about Macaulay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way, and honestly, I look at Wayne County genealogy and Marion County and all those. Clay County is one of the easiest to follow.
Yes.
And Clay County, and I don't know if people from that county are specifically,
and
there are different genealogical societies.
I feel like whoever wrote it for Clay County did a really good job. Whoever put together all of the information for the website.
Fantastic.
On Clay County. I've also looked at all of those. I dug into Effingham County pretty deep, trying to talk about how did it become Effingham, who named it Effingham, why was it named Effingham. There's like 3 different stories. They were all mentioned in the history, but nothing is for certain. There's nothing to stick to. I didn't do the story on it because I was just like, I felt like all I hit was brick roads. So.
But then like when I looked at Wabash Valley, I'm thinking, Wayne County, same way, little, very, very vague on everything. But then it's like, you look on there and it's like history. Everybody's got biographies, deaths, divorces, this. And then it was like, some sort of like historic stories or, I'm like, ooh, that'll be good. And you click on something and it like might just be one little tidbit of something, not the actual story. So then I did click on some things that I'm going to try to find, but I thought Wayne County's really going to put it out there because, you know, when it comes down to counties, Wayne County's the one that's always putting stuff out there and you know, like arrests and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
okay, we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. Then to come across this very interesting gentleman from Richland County.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
At Clay County Hospital, we are dedicated to providing quality care for you and your family. Our skilled medical team is committed to your well-being, ensuring that you receive the personalized attention you deserve. From filling your prescriptions at our state-of-the-art pharmacy to a visit with our compassionate behavioral health providers, we're here to support you every step of the way in your journey. Experience the difference at Clay County Hospital, where your health is our priority. Clay County Hospital. Complete care, start to finish.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we're talking a little bit, excuse me, about Richland County. And I just was talking to Beth about this. Palmyra was laid out, and it was the seat of justice for all the region of the state, extended to the lake. The projectors of this village were enterprising men and so stimulated and attracted immigration that the town took on rapid growth. So how does this town take on rapid growth and we don't know anything about it?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it just, like Olney, the town of Olney absorbed it, sort of.
It must have, yeah. That's what I'm thinking, because when I talk a little bit about it, because it was, I'll read down here and see what you think, because I have a feeling it's St. Francisville, because I think Palmyra is French, but it kind of gets confusing in the writing. In 1820, the town was on one of the most noted places in the West. It had stores, shops, a bank, and a jail, beside a number of professional men. All these evidences of thrift attracted settlers to this region of country. Up to about 1816, the principal settlements in Edwards County were the Compton settlement, composed of 6 or 8 families located in the heavy timber about 3 miles above Palmyra.
How are they spelling that?
Palmyra.
Yeah, there is a Palmyra, Illinois, but it's in Macoupin County.
Yeah. So,
and then apparently there used to be one in Edwards County as well.
So that's where we're at now.
You're in Edwards County?
Yeah, because it's so weird, because like they literally take Lawrence County, Richland County, and Edwards County and twine them all together as one seat.
Well, if it's Edwards County, it was 2 miles north of Mount Carmel.
Okay, yeah, see, because okay.
And it was originally the site of a ferry to go across the Wabash River.
Okay. See, because it says about 3 miles above Palmyra, the French settlement of St. Francisville.
Okay, yeah.
On the Wabash, some families lived at Bowman's Hill.
Oh. Well, it was the capital seat of Edwards County.
Palmyra?
Yes.
What happened? I mean, is it...
The peak population was to be between 500 and 600.
Okay.
Although some people think that is exaggerated. But, ooh, this is sad. You know why it went away?
Why?
They all died of malaria and yellow fever.
Now, where'd you find that?
It's on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Which, you might have to check your source there, but
right, it makes for this.
But yeah, it was an epidemic of malaria and yellow fever, and it killed the large portion of the settlement. And so
that's what happened.
By 1821, it was clear that the county seat had to be moved to a more stable town, and then they chose Albion.
Huh? Interesting. Yeah, how
Yeah.
interesting.
I had to really scroll to find that because everything else wants to be about the real Palmyra in
Right.
up north.
Yeah, because when I hit Palmyra, it just kept going. By this time, I'd already done so much research. I'm like, well, I'll deal with Palmyra later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so Palmyra, the French settlement of St. Francisville on the Wabash, there were several families that lived at Bowman's Hill on the west bank of the Wabash, opposite to Vincennes. Some 75 persons on, now listen to some of these names: Lamotte Prairie, a half a dozen families near York, a few at McCauley's on the Little Wabash, 14 miles west of Olney, so where now you know where that's at, and others at Mount Carmel, Fort Barney, Decker's Prairie, Round Prairie, at the Clary's Bluff, and Coffee Island. These settlements, it will be observed, were in the territory now embraced by the limits of Wabash, Lawrence, Crawford, Clark, Clay, and Edwards counties, all along the Wabash River. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So here's a little bit of, I saw something. It says Elkhorn Calf Killer. Listen to these names: Elkhorn Calf Killer, Elm Slough, Muddy Creek, and Boogaboo Bone Pass takes its origin in Claremont Township and flows in a nearly due south course in two branches. These are little creeks that they named them.
Oh my.
Yeah, which unite in the township of Bone Pass and joins the larger Wabash at Grayville. It has no important affluence in this county, Sugar Creek being the only one reaching the dignity of a name. The Little Wabash, taking its rise in Shelby and Coles counties, flows as southeasterly course and enters to the larger Wabash on the southern line of White County. In its course, it forms the boundary of the southwest corner of Richland County and receives its main affluent, Big Muddy, at this point. Of course, we see the Big Muddy. We cross it. The later stream receives Harrison and Sugar Creeks from the Denver Township and forms a part of the western boundary of the county. Fox River, rising in Jasper County, flows southerly, dividing the western half of Richland County, and joins the Little Wabash in Edwards County. The Fox receives a number of unimportant streams.
Okay.
Sorry, Fox. From either side, among which are found in the names of Sugar, Big, Little Fox, and Gentry Creeks.
I always feel like the people that named these creeks were not creative. This is Big Creek. Like, really? That's all you could come up
The
with?
Big Creek. Well, and then this one's Little Fox.
Yeah.
The surface of the county is generally rolling and its area is nearly equally divided into prairie and timbered land. The latter forming belts along the courses of the streams from 1 to 3 miles in width, and the prairie occupying the higher and tablelands between the main water courses. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's just so.
They definitely have more water and streams and rivers over there than I think we do here.
I never realized that till I started, really getting into it too much, Richland County was thus, let's see, of course, the navigation was done on flatboats, and Richland County was left untouched because it presented less attraction, rather than any respect for the rights the Indians might claim under their treaties. Many of these settlements were made as early as 1810 and 1812, but there was no disposition to venture into the interior until the pacification of the Indians after the War of 1812-1814. So it's like everybody likes all these other counties, and but Richland County, it seems like every time I talked about it, it was just like, here, there, and everywhere. So now let's talk a little bit about actual Olney, because I think that's where the gentleman I'm going to talk to you about.
Yeah,
let's. Okay, so growth and development. Okay, and we go back a little bit. I'm not really sure. And I want to look up something else here, too, about Wabash, about Olney, because there's something about a bird development. Olney, Illinois was founded in 1841.
Okay.
So it's quite a ways, because it's like 1814, Indians, 1818.
So Olney was 1841, and Flora wasn't until 1854.
54.
So they were there.
Jump on us.
They were there first, for sure.
Yep. As the county seat of Richland County, through early settlement begins in 1815 with Thaddeus Morehouse. He's supposedly the original guy. The town incorporated as a village in 1847 and later as a city in 1867, experiencing economic growth with the arrival of the Ohio and Mississippi Railroad in 1855. Olney is known for its white squirrels and the Robert Ridgway Memorial Arboretum and Bird Sanctuary. And it was once considered a potential U.S. center of population.
Well,
Okay, so let's talk about Robert Ridgway Memorial.
I don't know where that is.
Bird Sanctuary.
Yeah. I've never heard of it. I've been there so many times. I've never heard of it. Have any of you heard of that at Olney? Bird Sanctuary?
Yeah. Ty, Google Robert Ridgway Memorial Arboretum and Bird Sanctuary. I've never heard of it. And I've been in Olney for a gazillion years. In 1850, the first settler, where'd you go? Thaddeus Morehouse built a log cabin which served as a hotel and tavern along Stagecoach route. Early settlers included Hugh Calhoun and the Evans brothers who moved to the area. Quit going up there. Okay, my screen's being weird. Okay, I'm just getting rid of that one. In 1855, the opening of the Ohio and Mississippi Railroad sparked economic growth and population increases. Of course, we know that's normally what that will make or break you. That's what broke Maysville.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just
Railroad.
2 miles north, Maysville's gone.
Yep.
And look what happened to Mooresville over in Flora, where the farmers market was at, was Mooresville. They did not want a train depot there.
Nope.
So it went just...
And we have episodes on these topics that are on YouTube if you're looking for them. But yeah, Mooresville was just right out there where farmers market is. And that was, they didn't want the railroad out there. So the depot was built in Flora. And then Mooresville just faded away into nothing.
Faded away. Olney was incorporated as a city by the Illinois General Assembly. In 1867. Get this. In 1856, both presidential candidates, Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas, spoke at rallies in Olney on the same day.
Well, that's cool.
That's
I didn't
super
know that.
cool, right?
They were both in Olney.
Yeah. And in 1960, noted, here we go again. So it's 1916, Ty, noted ornithologist Robert Ridgway retired to Olney and established Birdhaven.
Okay.
Now the Robert Ridgway Memorial Arboretum and Bird Sanctuary.
So if it started that long ago in 1916, it's already went out of business.
Yeah.
But that's why we've never heard of it.
Because it's not Valbert's.
It's a landmark now.
It's a landmark?
Where's it at?
Out by the lake or something?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to do him.
Okay, well, we might have to make a trip out there to this Bird Haven.
But this little green dot here, that's Bird Haven.
Okay.
Really?
And it's just on the north side.
Okay.
The north side of Olney?
Yep, up by the lake.
By the lake, Bird Haven. Got to take a trip.
Yep, we need to go.
And, of course, the city is famous for its population of white albino squirrels.
Which, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I do think Flora has more than Olney on this white squirrels.
They're migrating over here.
Well,
something's happening.
I don't think that they ever migrated, to be honest. Because,
really?
No, because there are no white squirrels in the woods between here and Olney.
Yeah.
There are no white squirrels in Noble. There are no white squirrels in Clay City.
Yeah.
If they were migrating...
They stop along the way. Maybe they didn't like Clay City and Noble, and they just said, we heard that there's 2 great ladies over in Flora.
I heard there's a really good Dairy Queen in Florida. Let's just keep going. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this really neat gentleman that I found a topic on. We'll talk about him when we get back.
Since 2004, Ed Lewis Trucking has been moving America forward. Family-owned and built on values that matter. Reliability, hard work, and service you can count on. From dry van freight to dump and hopper bottoms, plus top-tier truck maintenance in their state-of-the-art shop that's open to all truckers, not just their own fleet. They're growing stronger, expanding with their recent acquisition of McKinney Trucking, but never losing sight of what drives them. It's Ed Lewis Trucking, family-driven, service-proven. Call Ed Lewis Trucking at 618-686-3555.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me order lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the first pioneers of Richland County. I just talked about Thaddeus Morehouse, which I really couldn't find much about him, and then another gentleman. But then I found this other guy named Lloyd Rawlings, which his story is pretty cool. But anyway, some of the pioneers, and I've got like a whole bunch, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the early settlers of Olney, Richland County in the next couple weeks. It says, with all the vigorous development to the south and east of the territory of Richland County, it was not to be expected that the tide of immigration setting toward the west would long be restricted to such narrow bounds. Many of the first comers were already feeling crowded, and the hunters were beginning to make longer and longer excursions to the interior. And the reports of the numerous streams, the fine timber, the small prairies, and rolling character of the land began to create a desire to take possession of the land. Mm-hmm. So that's how you probably then get places like Noble and that type of thing, because Noble would be on the right there. Mm-hmm. Now they're fingering out through everywhere. This territory was pleasantly divided between prairie and timberland in nearly equal portions. The larger part perhaps being in timber, the prairies were generally small. The timber skirting the stream sent out spurs in such a way as to completely encircle them and afforded the most desirable location for a home that could be imagined in the mind of a pioneer.
I guess in the mind of a pioneer are the key words there, because it would not be not ideal for me.
Not ideal for me, not at all. It is difficult to learn who was the first permanent settler in Richland County. It is the belief of some that Thaddeus Morehouse came in 1815 and William Dummett about 1816. And they may have been the first, but it is probable that if the date of each family's coming was accurately known, so closely did they come in about the same time, that several would be in the front rank. I don't even really know what he means by when he says that.
Well, I mean, it's just hard to say exactly when they all got here, because here's the thing. They might have showed up, found a place in the woods, started building a cabin. Camping, hunting, eating the deer, whatever, planting a garden. They might live there for 6 months, and then along comes somebody else strolling through, and they're like,
we're moving on.
And they're like, well, I've been doing the same thing 3 miles over. We didn't know each other existed. Well, then how do you know who got there first? Everybody's kind of doing the same thing.
Everybody's doing the same thing.
And there's not communication. There wasn't a hub of, City Hall or something where
there wasn't
you registered.
a Chamber of Commerce back then.
No.
No Chamber of Commerce there. So here we go. Let's talk about this guy here. Lloyd Rawlings came when he was 13 years old to Lawrence County in 1815. But at this time, Lawrence County really wasn't developed. So, like, he's basically from Richland County because Lawrence and Richland are right there. So they later, once they developed Lawrence County, then it was like, oh, he was actually from Lawrence County. But actually, at this moment, it's still Richland County territory. Let's see here. He was, so he came when he was a lad.
Just 13. A lad.
And actually, he lived there. He lived there his entire life at that point. He was born in Ohio, but then they moved to the area of Richland County. Mr. Rawlings was born in the state of Ohio in Griage County in the year 1802.
Oh my!
He immigrated to Richland County, Illinois, Lawrence County, Illinois, which at that time comprehended the eastern half of Richland County. He was married to Matilda Rourke in 1828. Okay, they had 11 children, 6 boys, 5 girls. Woo-wee, doggies. I guess that's what they did, though, back then, right?
That's right.
But in April of 1849, he, with 11 others from Richland County, went to the overland route to California. And there, with one man named Oliver Hayes, was deer hunting because Mr. Rawlings was a gold digger, not like what we call gold digger today.
Okay, I'm like, wait, what?
He panned for gold.
Okay.
He was a gold person.
In Richland County.
And he was a hunter. Okay. Richland County also had a lot of miners. There was a lot of mining fields there, and they had coal mines there and that type of thing. But he could make more money hunting and digging for gold. So his main trade was he was a hunter by trade. So they were deer hunting, and he was attacked. They were in California he was with Oliver Hayes and 10 other guys.
Oh, they were in California.
They went to California.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, they weren't hunting grizzly, but he was attacked by a grizzly bear. He and Hayes had separated at the head of a small chaparral to meet at the other extremity. The bear, retreating from Hayes, encountered Mr. Rawlings. So close were they that before Mr. Rawlings could bring his gun to his shoulder to fire, the bear, rearing on his hind feet, struck Mr. Rawlings' gun from his shoulder.
Oh my!
With a blow of his paw.
Bears are fast.
Oh, yeah. At the same time, prostrating Mr. Rawlings, who only had time to say, "Oh, Hayes," when the bear, placing one foot on his breast, listen to this, took his whole face within his extended jaws, the upper teeth closing on the top of the skull.
I think you could have left this part out.
And the lower teeth beneath the lower jaw. No, because he doesn't die.
Oh, my gosh.
No, he lives.
Oh.
No, the lower teeth beneath the lower jaw, but being old and the teeth blunt, while Mr. Rawlings' lower jaw and cheekbone were broken, the blunt upper tusk slipped over the skull down to his forehead and face, scraping the bone. Hayes had heard the cry and rushing up,
shot the bear.
The noise of his approach caused the bear to raise his head and turn toward Hayes, who fired on the bear, shooting him through the neck. The bear fell. As Hayes, supposed dead, Mr. Rawlings raised his gory face with one protruding eyeball and remarked to Hayes, "You have killed the bear, but the bear has killed me." Hayes placed his friend on one of their mules and escorted him to camp, where, after careful treatment, he recovered to outlive by 20 years his rescuers. So his face was almost completely ripped off by a bear.
Oh my gosh.
And he outlived Oliver. Yeah. The bear was an enormous brute weighing upwards of 1,000 pounds. Yeah.
What a story.
He bore the marks of this accident to the day
Well,
of
I'd
his
say
death.
he was missing an eye. You can't just push that thing back in there.
Yeah. So he, Mr. Lloyd Rawlings, was born June 10th, 1802 in Ohio. He died September 28th, 1883. So he lived to be 81 years old, and he died in Olney. He actually died at home 1 month after just having a sickness. It didn't go into much detail. After reading the story of the grizzly bear.
I think he could outlive anything.
I think he could outlive anything. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Well, that was very graphic and gross.
Isn't
but
that insane?
interesting. So, yeah. Oh, my
How
goodness.
weird.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? He's like, oh, Oliver was like, you've shot the bear.
You've killed the bear, but the bear has killed me.
But the bear has killed me, so he thought he was dead.
I'd say. He probably thought he was dead the second he saw the bear.
I'd say Lloyd Rawlings had what?
Grit
and gumption.
For sure.
How is that like?
Ugh.
And this is the 1800s bear hunting, because that's what he did. That's what he did. That's what he did in his life. He was a hunter, and he made more money hunting
because he just sold the meat.
He sold the meat and the furs, and of course it was the 1800s, so that's what people were making their beds and eating and clothing and all that stuff. So yeah, he was a hunter by trade.
Well, another reason I'm thankful for living right now. There's certain things about the past that seem like they would be lovely, but then things like that happen. There was no antibiotics, no pain medicine, nothing.
Yeah. I always tell that, Jim, I'm like, my goodness, I'm so glad I didn't live back then. Jim's like, you wouldn't know any different. 20 years from now, people are going to be looking at us going, how did you live like you did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, but whatever. But anyway, so that was interesting. I liked that story.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a pretty good story.
That was a good story.
Yeah, he's buried over in Richland County. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Okay.
But let's a little bit about Bill Engvall here.
Okay,
Here's your
something
sign.
funny.
Something funny. We ought to be perfectly on time.
Okay.
I was carrying out a bag of garbage the other day, and my neighbor yelled across the fence, "Are you taking out the trash?" I said, "Nope. I'm going to feed our pet rats."
Oh, funny. Bill.
Why is it necessary that I ask dumb questions all the time?
I think it's just like small talk. You don't know what to say, so you just say something obvious. I don't know.
Honestly, I didn't realize all the dumb things I said till I started reading this book.
And you're like, I kind of see myself in some of these questions.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
That's it for the show today. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can find us on YouTube, or you can find us on Wabash Catch TV, channel 100, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And that is it for today. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
God bless you, and have a great day.